Let's work on number 4. This says the chart to the right shows the temperatures of cities in the United States during the month of December. So we see the chart right there. And now we're going to answer the questions. It says, in which city is the temperature the coldest? Now, the coldest would reference what kind of number. In this case, when we're ordering them, the coldest would be like the least, right? That smallest temperature. So in this case, when we're looking at these, we know that negatives are always smaller than positives, which would leave our potential answers as negative 3.3 and negative 5.7. So we want to think of those, which of those is the least? And we know that is Nashville because negatives have opposite numbers, meaning that negative 5.7 is less than negative 3.3. Since negatives have opposite rules. Negatives have opposite rules. The bigger the absolute value of the number, the smaller that number actually is. All right, and which city is the temperature the warmest? So once again, since coldest meant least, warmest is going to mean greatest. So we're going to look and see which of these temperatures would be the biggest. So obviously it's going to have to be positive, right? When we're comparing those positive numbers, we have 8.9 and 8.2. And of course, the bigger one would be 8.9. So that would be Los Angeles, California. And we know that because 8.9 is bigger than 8.2. All right. And then in which city is the temperature closest to 0? Remember, absolute value gives us distance from 0, and distance from 0 is always positive. So in this case, the absolute value of all of these would just be positive values. And of course, we know Denver, 3.3, would be closest to 0 in that case. All right, and our final one says, what is the difference between Los Angeles and Nashville? Meaning, how far apart are their temperatures from each other? So in order to explain this one, I'm going to draw a number line, put 0 at the center, and I'm going to represent Los Angeles. That would be right over here at 8.9. And then I'm going to estimate where Nashville would be right over here at negative 5.7. Now we want to know the difference between them, which means that we want to track this entire distance, right? Now to get from 5.7 to 0, we would have to travel 5.7. And then to get from 0 to 8.9, we'd have to travel 8.9. So what we want to do is add those values. We know that difference means subtraction. But if we did 8.9 minus negative 5.7, that would actually tell us to add. Anytime we have a double negative, that turns into a positive. So in this case, we're going to add those two values. So when we add, 7 plus 9 is 16, 6 carry the 1, 5 plus 8 is 13, plus 1 more is 14. That means the difference is 14.6 degrees Celsius. All right, and that is number 4.